Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. This is your angelic horoscope transmission from your weekly guardian angels, your weekly transmission for the week of July 5th through July 11th. That's Sunday through Saturday. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go over each day of the week and the guardian angels that rule over each day and each sign. And you can click down below in the description box if you want to click on your particular sign. But really each day sort of has a certain flavor to it, so you might want to click on that to get the flavor of the day, so to speak, from the angelic holy guardian angels, again, that rule over each day. Now, this week, the guardian angel that came through, generally, for the whole week, is the archangel who's very powerful, known as Ariel. And Ariel is sometimes confused with Uriel. And there's some distinctions, and one of them is that Ariel is an angel of retribution and vengeance, and rules over the physical plane and rules over each element of the physical plane, fire, water, air, and earth, and the elementals that are associated, and that's salamanders, undines, sylphs, and gnomes. So it's a very powerful angel and is considered to be, again, a bit having to do with wrath and being, when people are incensed. Now, this angel Ariel also is among the virtues, that order of angels. So this is the message that came through this week from the angelic realm. This is angelic channeling. And the message that came through is this. Miracles, this is from Ariel. Miracles occur when the mind allows the heart to give without questioning motives, because humans do that quite a lot. We people want to give to us, but we question their motives, and we always think people are, trying to do something to us that isn't nice, and so, we often mistake people's intentions. So miracles, what Ariel is saying here is that miracles cannot occur and will not occur until we allow the heart to rule over the mind. In other words, you have to be a fool, because those who let the heart rule are fools, and those who let the mind rule are kings. But miracles don't happen to kings, they happen to fools. That's Ariel's message this week, again from the 5th to the 11th of July, Sunday through Saturday. And now what we're going to do is go over each day of the week. We're going to go over the specific messages given by each angel, each archangel of each day of the week. Their message, give you a little, expound on it a little bit. And then at the end of this transmission, we'll go over the planetary aspects and the astrological facets that we feel were important for you to know this week. And again, we'll try to expound on it a little bit, because people are asking us to expound on this. Okay. Archangel Michael on Sunday. Leo, that's the sun. And July 5th, that's Sunday. Overwhelming sentimental emotions convince the mind to tread onto dangerous territory. Okay, so what is this saying? This is saying that, this kind of agreeing with Ariel in that the heart is able to get miracles to happen, but this is scary for the mind, is what the Archangel Michael is saying. He's saying that the emotions are going to be so overwhelming on the 5th that people may tend to do things that otherwise they would consider dangerous. Okay? Okay, the Archangel Gabriel on Monday, that's the sign of Cancer, that's the moon. July 6th, Monday. Belief in fairy tales persists even in the face of the conscious mind warring with the unconscious, causing spiritual misunderstandings. Let me say that again, excuse me. Belief in fairy tales persists even in the face of the conscious mind warring with the unconscious, causing spiritual misunderstanding. So the Archangel Gabriel is saying with this message that people want to believe in ancient legends because there's always a truth in legend, and one wonders how much is truth and how much is legend. And the conscious mind is sort of a going into a spiritual indigestion or spiritual misunderstanding. The mind, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, or unconscious mind more precisely, are going into a misunderstanding. It'll be confusing, to make it simple. To put simply what Gabriel's saying here, on the 6th, on Monday, it'll be a confusing day when the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, I keep saying subconscious, but I mean to say unconscious, they're different. Unconscious mind and the conscious mind do not agree. But it's not just such a plain disagreement. It's more of a misunderstanding and a scrambling, an upset and an indigestion of the physical and spiritual worlds, of the collective, the great collective unconscious, and the individual subjective conscious mind. It's not objective. The conscious mind isn't really objective now, is it? Okay, on the 7th, the Archangel Camael, Tuesday, that's Aries, Scorpio, and that's Mars. Emotionally aggressive aspects of the self viciously compete with the imaginative mind in an attempt to protect mental integrity due to feelings of intense vulnerability. So this kind of carries on from the previous day where people are feeling vulnerable because they don't understand. And that means that people, when they don't understand, they just say, well, I'm upset, and then they're angry, the angry parts of them, the vicious parts of them, want to compete with things that they feel are maybe too imaginative, or things they don't understand, or too creative, and in an effort to protect their own mental integrity of what they understand, because they feel intensely vulnerable. So this pretty much follows. You can see how this is sort of a progression, and you can see how this does follow. Okay. Now, on July 8th, that's the Archangel Raphael, Wednesday, Gemini, Virgo, and Mercury. The creative mind begins to understand the emotions, revealing deeper emotions than realized, allowing alliances with former enemies. So basically, and I put this in the description box as well, this quote, the enemy, what this means is, basically, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That old saying, that cliche. The author is attributed to a 4th century BC Sanskrit political exposition. Nobody knows who exactly authored it. Okay, that's what the earliest attribution they have for that saying. Again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. It's a very, important saying, and that's a day on Wednesday that the Archangel Raphael is saying on the 8th, this sentence will be pretty much at the forefront of what people are doing, because the mind, in its creativity, the mind will be allowed to be more creative on that day, and it will then begin to understand deeper emotions that were not understood before, and that will allow people who were enemies before to combine into an alliance to fight a common enemy. That's what the Archangel Raphael is saying. Okay. Archangel Metatron on Thursday. That's Pisces, Sagittarius, Pisces, and that's Jupiter. So Metatron on the 9th, again that's Thursday, yes. All of the aspects of the self are in agreement, or are at least open to negotiation. That's pretty self-explanatory. Metatron is saying that the various aspects of ourselves on this day on the 9th, on Thursday, are going to be in agreement with the self, or at least if they're not in complete agreement, all the aspects of the self will be willing to negotiate. Because again, we want to say again that there is no such thing as an external enemy. Amul, quote Deepak Chopra, again. Because it's amazing how many times one has to say this to oneself to not get upset with other people. It's hard to remember that. We all think it's that negative things are coming from someone else, but it's actually an aspect of ourself coming up to negotiate with us and get us and to correct us, to correct our ego. So we have to keep reminding ourselves of that. It's all about the ego and the soul and the negotiations thereof. Okay, Archangel Uriel. This is Uriel, not Ariel. This is Uriel, the Earth Angel, on Friday, Libra, Taurus, Venus. Friday, July 10th, that message is Uriel. Creativity looks to distant lands with surreal cultural attributes to find inspiration. So basically, this is pretty self-explanatory as well. When the creative part of the self needs inspiration, it needs to have something a little bit surreal, a little bit, not so mundane, a little bit, foreign, to find something not familiar at least, in order to find some kind of creative inspiration. And that's fine. Okay, the Archangel Cassiel, Saturday, Aquarius, Capricorn, that's Saturn. July 11th, the message is beware indulging in behavior that is against the written laws of the culture you find yourself in. Attempts to express the self that go against the grain will not end well. Put simply, this is a day to yield the ego in favor of the soul. This is again a progression of what has gone before, in the days before. You see how it's a progression, because the planets are going in a certain progression that God set in motion. So what you want to see here is that this is a day, Saturday, so let's make this clear, because the Archangel Cassiel was very clear with this. The Archangel Cassiel is saying, do not intentionally break laws of wherever you find yourself. There's the laws of the land where you live, or if you're in some military and you're in, the laws of the sea or whatever. Don't break the laws. Don't go against the laws on that day. Don't go out of your way, because you'll be tempted to go against the laws. But this is a day on Saturday, the 11th, when you should not do that, because it will not end well for you if you do on this day. This is a day to yield the ego in favor of the soul. Because when we go against laws, it is our ego. And I have to say, in this particular message from Cassiel, this is one where I have to admit I don't completely understand where the ego and the soul, what differentiates one from the other if the laws of the land are not just. So this is one where I have to say that I can understand what's being said here, but there's a point right here where I don't completely understand when you sacrifice what on this day, if the laws are unjust, or if you feel the laws are unjust. So that one's up for debate. So if you want to make comments, that's fine. We moderate the comments, obviously, and we have some people helping us with that as well. But if you want to make comments, to say how you understand this, if you would just stay on topic with that, and if you want to make comments about that and have a discussion, that's fine, because I'm not clear, especially at the end of this, of Cassiel's message, exactly what he's saying here. And I would appreciate other people's knowledge and understanding of this, exactly, because I see what it's saying here. It's not good for you, but then where is that the ego, but where is that the soul? When do you yield, when do you not yield, that kind of thing. So if you can do it in a civilized manner and be courteous to other people, you know, discourteous comments that seem inappropriate, of course, will be removed. But if you know, we encourage courteous and civilized discussion. Okay. Now we're going to go over for you the planetary aspects, the astrological facets that we feel are important to highlight for you this week, and we'll do our best to expound on a little bit. And Sunday the 5th, the Sun is in Cancer on the 5th, and Mercury is sextile Venus. That's Gemini and Virgo, and that's in a friendly aspect with Taurus and Libra. On the 6th, Monday, Moon in Pisces, and the Sun opposing Pluto. That's Leo in some sort of a opposition or rivalry, if you will, with Scorpio. On the 7th, Tuesday, Mars is in Cancer, and the Moon is square Mercury. That means Cancer individuals will be competitive with Gemini and Virgo on that day. These are just the daily, and they change so quickly. Okay, on 8th, Wednesday, Mercury will ingress into Cancer on that day, and Mercury is transiting direct on that day, on the 8th. And Wednesday's Mercury, so that's why we do this. We're matching the planet as much as we can, at least in the first part, where we say Mercury ingress Cancer or Jupiter in Leo, that kind of thing. That's because, like, Thursday is Jupiter and Wednesday is Mercury, because the planets rule those days. So that's, but you know, some of the other aspects that we put after that, you know, aren't always going to be something that is in alignment with that, so we're just mentioning the most important ones. Okay? But the first part is lined up with the day specifically, and the other part is just whatever's happening on that day. Okay, so on the 8th, Mercury is direct, and Mars is trine Neptune. And Mars trine Neptune is Aries and Scorpio in a good alliance with Pisces. That's again the 8th, Wednesday. On the 9th, Thursday, Jupiter in Leo, again because Jupiter rules over Thursday. Metatron. Okay. Mercury, excuse me. The 9th, okay, Thursday, I'll say it again. Jupiter in Leo, that's Metatron. The Moon conjunct Uranus, that's Cancer individuals in a friendly association with Aquarius. And the 10th, Friday, Venus in Leo, because Friday, Venus is the ruler, okay? Mercury sextile Neptune, that's Gemini and, Gemini and Virgo, friendly with Pisces. So Mercury sextile Neptune, that's Virgo and Gemini, friendly with Pisces. And the 11th, Saturn retrograde in Scorpio still. That's why all that business about you could get in trouble, because Saturn retrograde in Scorpio causes that. Well, Saturn retrograde in general causes that, but in Scorpio in particular, not a good idea. All right, Moon opposes Saturn. That's Cancer individuals in a rivalry or combat, not competition, combat with Capricorn and Aquarius. All right, so that's the associations there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. This is your weekly angelic horoscope transmission from your weekly guardian angels, and this week it's Ariel. And he's fierce, so everybody stay cool. Thank you for joining us. Join us again next week.